Here we go. Okay. Whoa. This is it. And we are here live from Secaucus, New Jersey.
Woo! Yes, it's Selling Heroes with Carbo and Anthony and our special Deadpool show. Yay!
Boy, that tunnel is long, I'll tell you. And it ain't the Holland Tunnel. Whee!
You even lost a shoe coming out. Batmobile lost a wheel, and the Joker got away.
Hi, Anthony. How you doing?
I'm good. Welcome to the show where we eat, sleep, and what else?
Breathe. We breathe comic books. And we make money.
And we do, and we support people, and about what? About 50 people with buying and selling comic books.
At least, unless you're running a comic convention and you're supporting 10,000 people. You're throwing a party for everybody.
Yeah, you throw a party and you break even.
And we have some big news today, right? About Anthony's Art and Collectibles and the Big Apple news coming up a little bit later.
And we have a live studio guest of Reilly Brown, Deadpool artist extraordinaire.
Reilly Brown.
Yeah,
you're really proud of that. He's one of the artists that you work with.
Yes, I represent Reilly for his art sales, and I have stacks of his beautiful art for sale, and we're gonna do a live trivia question, and the winner of that trivia question gets a sketch from Reilly done on the air. So we're gonna have like an Andy Warhol art happening.
So how did you meet Reilly Brown?
How did I meet Reilly Brown?
Do you remember?
Well, I remember how I met my wife. I don't know how I met Reilly Brown. I'm sorry, Reilly. You're very handsome, though.
Anthony? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good.
She walked in my front door, and I'm like, I want to keep you.
Love at first sight. I know what you mean.
It was.
It was love at first phone call, Anthony. Remember that?
I have a friend of mine who's watching from California. Right. Hello out there. Miss Uma, how are you? Saying hello. I'll see you later. By the way, I wanted to say something. Speaking of things, we're going to talk about what's hot in the movies and all of that, but I just bought something amazing. Literally last night, I bought a bike. Hey guys, if you got the pictures, show it. We bought a purple Stingray bike, 1967.
67?
And a 1972 blue bike.
Was that the ones that had the names? Because I had an orange one.
One was Ross and one was Schwinn. I had when I was a kid, I was 10, 67.
Yeah,
I had a banana bike.
I had that.
Aren't those great?
Yeah, those are the best.
So I wanted to ride them on the show, but I have to ship them to California. So me and Uma can ride them next week up the hills of Petaluma, right?
Oh, cool.
So I'm in New York. Something about New York City, it's amazing. I'm like, how am I going to ship them? How am I going to ship bikes? There I am on 8th Avenue and 38th Street. I say, David, my friend, find a way to get these bikes shipped. There's a store right there on the corner, a bike store, and the guy looks like Slash if you walk inside. And they shipped them for $300. Both bikes, they unraveled them, put them together. By the way, we're gonna have to put them back together when they get to California.
Okay, so
that'll take a while. So we'll have pictures of us riding around with those later.
Yeah, and future episodes, I want to drag race you on one of those.
Those guys were going gaga.
That really takes me back because I had an orange crate for some reason. Why did I have an orange one?
Orange, okay.
The Schwinn orange crate, the same style.
It's amazing how you remember the color of your bike, right?
But it had a name. All those had a name, like Silver, Gray Ghost, or whatever.
I just know the Stingray 67.
Okay, the Stingray.
That's cool. All right, so we're going to talk about what's hot in the movies.
Oh, well, there's only one thing that's hot in the movies this week, and that's the Deadpools.
Oh, Deadpool.
And this is Deadpool Lives, the episode.
So we have, of course, the Deadpool first appearance, New Mutants 98. Which jumped up like almost $200 this week because of the opening. Yeah.
Yeah. At one time though, it was like over 1,000. Now it's kind of back to.
No, it's right back to 1,000.
There you go.
Yeah. So the run up to the movies, both times has gotten like a 40% difference in your investment with a book like that. And then we have the first appearance of Cable, which is the featured hero.
The villain.
Well, is he the villain? Is he the hero? I mean, he comes back in time
to get. You know what's
get
amazing? Josh Brolin, the actor.
Brolin, yes.
He's in both. He's in the Marvel movies, in the Avengers. He's the villain in the Avengers. And if Cable is the villain, the time-traveling villain.
Yeah, well, you can recognize him in this one, though. He's actually playing, not CGI.
How do you get to be two villains in two different superhero movies at the same time.
Well, Ryan Reynolds was the Green Lantern that people want to scoff at and belittle. He even made jokes about that. Oh, make sure my uniform isn't green and animated. He made a lot of jokes about that in the first movie. I
caught a little of that Green Lantern recently. It wasn't that bad, so to speak.
No,
but,
I don't think so either. But I mean, a lot of fans hated it.
Kind of cool thing for that movie. For him, he met his wife to be on the movie, Blake Lively. Beautiful actress, but so
now
he's got nothing to.
Who else met their wife on a much maligned superhero movie?
I don't know.
Ben Affleck.
Oh, really?
On the original Daredevil.
That's right. Yeah,
they got married. Yes, they got married from that show.
I forgot about that.
Now, and then who's the actor?
Says we don't follow the tabloids.
Who's the actor who's played Superman and Batman in a movie?
Superman and Batman?
Yep.
I have no idea.
Ben Affleck.
Again?
Yes, he's played
Batman.
Batman.
Superman?
In the story of George Reeves.
Oh yeah, that was not okay.
Yes, he was playing Superman.
That was maybe one of the best
that
movies.
was a kind of a cool
really
movie.
Good.
Yeah, but the story of George Reeves and his untimely death, and whether he was murdered or not, that was
George
the whole
Reeves is the actor who portrayed Superman in the TV show.
The original.
That was so popular. I believe it ran from like 1954 to 57, 58, like 4 or 5 years, and then the reruns were all over the television.
Yeah, I grew up with the reruns.
In the 60s
that was awesome.
and 70s, turn on Channel 5, the independent New York stations, 5, 9, and 11, and they would just run them again and again and again.
And who else shares a chin with Ben Affleck?
You do.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right, so what's news in the movies? We have the Deadpool movie, which I have not seen. Tonight is the preview.
Yeah, but we have Reilly on later, who has been at the sneak preview and can maybe give us some unspoilerly fun stuff about it.
A little sad news in the superhero world, and this is an actress that I actually had as a guest at my Big Apple conventions, and she was very cool. Her name is Margot Kidder. And she played Lois Lane. She was actually in a Brian De Palma film that I loved called Sisters. And she was really, really great. And at the age of 69, she unfortunately is not around anymore. So our best wishes to her wherever she is.
Her family and friends and condolences. All right, that's the only downer we're going to have today.
Hey, I want to say something about one other movie. Everybody's talking about superheroes movies, but I went to see an art film, so to speak, at the Paris Theater in New York City. One of the last art film theaters that has a balcony left. Anyhow, it's called The Seagull. Anton Chekhov, where whatever they say is not really what they're saying. There's 16 levels to the whole thing. But Annette Bening was in it, and she was absolutely incredible. So if anybody wants to expand their cinematic horizons, go see The Seagull. Amazing film, and the theater is worth the price of admission, as the saying goes.
And that's our version of Mike sneaking in the movies this week. Going to see those art films like Jodie Foster wants you to see, and hopes that superhero movies implode. Thank you, Jodie. Go make a real movie.
Okay. Speaking of things that are happening, how about we talk about the Anthony's Art and Collectibles news?
All right. Well.
Okay.
Guys, do you have that little snippet? Do you have that clip for us to run on the...
Okay, well, while we're doing that, I'll give you the Big Apple Minute. As soon as we get the clip, we're ready to run it. Big Apple Minute, I signed the contracts today, literally March 9th and 10th, 2019. Big Apple is coming to New York. We've taken over the whole hotel of the Pennsylvania. Woo! The 18th floor, the 8th floor, the 6th floor, the bottom, the basement.
That's
places
awesome.
you've never seen before. It'll become like the Baxter Building. That's the Fantastic Four thing. March 9th and 10th, that happens to be the same weekend that Captain Marvel
comes out.
Female big superhero coming up. She's the Superman equivalent in the Marvel Universe.
And whether we know,
she's going to be
that's
amazing.
not really
that same weekend when that opens.
Sequel to Avengers, because it's more
that's
like
gonna
her
start
prequel,
the whole thing,
right?
and it's only 9 months away. So we're getting started. Tickets will go on sale in a month or two, and man, we're going to be making so many announcements. It's going to be crazy. And keep watching, because there's going to be so many giveaways for tickets at this show. We're going to make your mind spin round and round.
Make your mind spin.
All right,
and your head.
Come on, tell them your news, Anthony.
All right, we got that clip.
That too. We can just spin around for a while if you want to.
So Mike signed his contract with Big Apple, and I signed my lease with my first, and here's me at the news store spot. Here's the game room and an office.
Means I can sell you more stuff. You have
Yeah, Mike will sell me more
room
stuff to
put the
fill it
stuff.
up and make it unmanageable.
to
Yay.
That's great. That's great. All right, we want to talk
So
about
that'll be located in Leonia, New Jersey, right on the Main Street in Leonia.
in Leonia here.
Yeah,
that's great. That's great.
So
How
that's
big is
cool.
it? How big is it?
It's only about 1,000 square feet, but we'll fill
And-
that up in a day.
Is it going to be just artwork or more? Everything?
No, we're going to do
Everything.
comics and collectibles.
Are you going to do like a little gallery showing
Yeah,
and stuff
sure.
like that?
Yep.
Oh,
we're
when
gonna
all the
do
Big
gallery
Apple
and all
artists
that.
come out, that whole week before the show, we're going to have a different artist
Yeah,
every
and
week
we'll have
in your
a
place.
space to do signings.
Oh, that's going to be great.
And that,
Yes.
that I don't have in my warehouse
All right.
operation because it's so
It's time to do
massively-
a deal since you have your new space. One deal of the day. I sold you all my t-shirts, but I still have a few left.
Aw, I
We got a
like
nice
that.
Thor t-shirt, and as a bonus, I'll throw in this Hulkmania t-shirt. It's original
What does that
80s
say?
and Vaughn Baudet. I'm going
right.
to give you the deal of the day. I think we did between
I'll
five
only
and
buy this if I get to tear it up.
No. You might want to rip it. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's what he did with all this stuff. Okay, we're gonna make this deal. You ready? I sold you all the others for between 500 and 700. I'll take 500 for the 3.
This one,
Come on,
you
let's
know,
make this happen.
again, like buying collectibles 101, condition.
Yes.
This one's a little raggedy, man. It's a little raggedy.
All right,
I
we'll
don't
throw
know.
something in here.
I
Here
don't
you
know.
go. You ready?
Yes,
This
I'm ready.
is literally The Sound of Music. This is the original from 1966.
Oh, let me see
I've sold
that.
hundreds of these for
I
20
love
bucks a
this.
piece.
That's-
There's a dozen of them. This is $200 to $300 worth of stuff, plus a Battlestar Galactica and a few other things. I'll throw it in for the same 500, and you get a bonus. Now,
I don't
everyone's
want
heard
my
of
maypole. I don't want my
Now,
maypole.
everyone's heard of MTV, right? So MTV, I want my MTV. The saying, I want my MTV, came from this. There was this great oatmeal cereal called Mapo. And everyone says, and this little character popped up and goes, I want my Mapo. And it sold, kids like went crazy in the 1960s. So MTV just appropriated it and said, I want my MTV. So this dollar's probably worth 50 to 100 bucks.
me
There
see
you
that.
go. Okay,
Nice.
All right,
the
we're
deal
gonna
of the
start
day.
paying attention a
500,
little
are
bit.
we ready to go?
Mike Carbo wheeling and dealing. So we are wheeling and dealing. These are deals that we
Oh,
did.
somebody likes the bikes.
We did
Hi, Rad
save.
Shamira. How you doing out there?
Rad Chimera. Same way Ryan Reynolds and Chris Evans did. Haha. Okay, so I love these T-shirts because they're original
Come on, we're
Marvel
making the deal. I'm
Mania.
going to take them away. You want? You got 5. I'm going to go back up to 550.
Let me show you some Marvel Mania I got this week.
Yeah, but we're going to close the deal. I'm going to take these away. Are we doing it?
400.
Fine. Done. Let's
right.
do it.
All right.
I'm ready. I'm going to give you a deal. Oh, come
No,
on.
too much.
All right. Yeah, it is too much. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'll give you a change back,
Hey.
which we'll hold that for later. All right. We're ready for the first deal. You got a good deal on this, but you deserve it.
Jane,
You bought a
his
lot of
wife.
stuff. Here you go. By the way, this
This
Vaughn Baudet shirt is really, really cool. Vaughn Baudet is a super cool artist from the 1970s who he passed away through his own personal
volition.
demons and demise. But nevertheless, his son, Mark
was that-
Bodie, Bodie will be at the Big Apple in March, and we should try and do a tattoo thing at your place in Leonia. If he'll do it. He's an amazing tattoo
Oh,
artist.
he's a tattoo artist?
Oh my gosh, he's
Okay.
amazing.
I didn't realize. I've done some
absolutely
business with
incredible.
him. I've tried to sell him some of his dad's work
By the way,
back and
speaking of
stuff.
tattoos, my gal has been in California for 2 weeks and I haven't seen her tattoos in a while, so
Okay.
I'm looking forward to seeing
Look,
you tomorrow.
Sharon, Sound of Music. Yay!
Yes, the hills
you
are
love
alive.
it.
Great, by the way, 25 bucks a piece.
Yeah.
There you
try,
go.
try finding somebody that cares about. Now,
You
here
know
we
what?
also
People
have
like
a new
those.
logo that we want to unveil.
I like those.
This is the Selling Heroes Across America
Yep.
logo.
Anthony and I worked on that together. Anthony came up with the design in the center, and I helped create the little United
Yeah, you tweaked it a
States
little
of
bit.
America.
Yeah, yeah.
But what is this? What is this? This is a computer?
This is
it's like a Jack Kirby thing?
Yeah, it's a Kirby machinery
Kirby
thing.
Crackle. You know
Yeah.
what? Why don't we put some
No, he
crackle
did.
in
He
there?
did.
Does it
He's
say-
got
yeah, but-
crackle inside
But I don't
there.
see the words. Does it
It's
say crackle?
crackle inside. It's
I
the actual
can't read.
crackle.
It doesn't say
Well,
crackle.
put your glasses on.
I don't need glasses to see that it
I
doesn't
love
say
this.
crackle.
I love this.
I mean, come on.
It doesn't say crackle
I'm
right
doesn't
now.
say crackle.
So we're going to be
I think the
dealing
only crackle
now
is the
over the
candy we
summer.
got over
The
there.
reason why this is relevant is because over the summer we're going to be doing deals all across America.
Oh.
We're going to be doing deals while I drive across America and go to San Diego and LA and Phoenix and 3 stops in Texas. And Mike is going to be running around. He's going to be
I'm
in
literally flying to
Denver.
San Francisco for the next couple of days, and then while I'm there, I'm going to, actually on Sunday morning, I get up at like 2 a.m. in the morning, go to San Francisco, get on a plane at 5 o'clock, get to Denver, Colorado. I'll be at the big comic book show. Rocky Mountain, what is it? It's called the Rocky Mountain Comic Book Show. We were talking about
Rocky
it last
Mountain
night, Sharon,
Comic-Con,
right?
yes.
Rocky Mountain Comic Con, buying stuff in the Rocky Mountains. Then at like 4 o'clock that afternoon, I get back to the airport, back on the plane. I'll be back in San Francisco. So hopefully with a big pile of comic books, I plan to spend at least $25,000.
Probably more,
So,
right?
Yes. I like
All right,
that.
one of the
Probably
things I
more.
want to talk
Good,
about
good,
is
good.
the big business of comic art. Now,
Hold on a sec. Big business. So that's so true. I mean, literally just this week, I bought books in the tens of thousands of dollars and made a few $1,000s of profit on them. The comic business has just been exploding, literally in the last. I mean, you know,
I
from
think
what your internet sales
yes,
are.
and I think this is a perfect example of that I want to explain.
High tide raises all boats.
Yeah, but this is crazy. Now, you see this as a Norman Rockwell. Can you get in on that?
I'll hold it.
Can we explain who Norman Rockwell is? To
Wow,
some of
I mean, culturally, he's probably the
younger viewers. Hi out there.
All right, he did the Saturday Evening Post. He did the Four Freedoms paintings. He's probably I mean, he's like jazz. He's like comic books to the American artist. He's probably the most famous American artist to ever live. Okay, so he did all these these iconic Saturday Evening Posts, and especially the Freedoms.
I believe Steven
that are
Spielberg is
available.
a fan of Norman Rockwell
Of
art,
course.
right?
So this is American culture and history. Now this painting that was a published cover for the Saturday Evening Post sold for $762,000.
But something about Norman Rockwell is his faces, his
yeah.
and that's what just
Absolutely.
occurred to me
They're
that
living
look at
paintings.
Steven
The
Spielberg's
expression.
films,
Yeah.
Close Encounters. I mean, there's minutes, large chunks of that movie are about people's faces watching these aliens that we don't even see, but we're watching the humans watching the aliens. He took that, and I see it now. I just caught that.
Well, the
from
expressiveness,
guys like Norman Rockwell. It's amazing.
like his most famous painting is Freedom from Want, which is the Thanksgiving scene.
Oh, well,
it's
let's
much
bring a
imitated.
copy of that to look at
Yeah,
next week.
so and you
Okay.
see all the faces
So-
of the family. So you think like, wow, that's a piece of American
Okay, that should
history,
be 7 figures or
cultural
more.
history. It's $750,000.
That's what it sold
the
for?
same
Was
week.
that a hammer price,
Yes.
including the
Yeah, all that.
25%,
Okay, the
750,000,
same week.
$750,000.
We see
lot.
pop culture catching up and overtaking American history and becoming the flavor of
It
our
is our
generation.
history.
Now, this is a Frank Frazetta painting of the Deathdealer. It's a version 6, it says, and it's from 1990. And it sold for how much, Mike?
Deathdealer. Oh, wasn't that the? Oh my gosh. Okay, what company was that did the Deathdealer?
Yeah.
Okay,
The Bantam books, right?
But wait a minute, the singer from the Misfits.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Glenn Danzig.
Glenn
right?
Danzig.
Wasn't that his company?
Yeah, he did an imprint called
As
that.
a matter of fact, I got to give Glenn a call and see if he can get him to come on the show and talk to him and bring him as a guest for Big
Okay,
Apple.
but
Wow.
tell me how much that sold.
Yeah, I heard the price.
$7 million, a whole $1 million more than that Norman Rockwell.
Almost $2 million.
If you're involved in comic art and the artists that produce the greatest art that this hobby, not a hobby,
We're
the
in the
big
right
business
business.
of comic art.
Yes.
$1.7 million.
And you too can be in the business, and that's what we're here
Wow.
to tell you. Okay?
Yes.
You can call. You can
One step at a time.
Email us and talk to us and let us know what you want to invest in. And we're going to be doing a few more predictions at the end of the show. Oh, I got to say hello to Callie. So excited to ride those bikes. Yes. Hi there. Excellent. And we have Lisa Joe, Mike Carbo, always wheeling and dealing. That is
Okay.
true. It's almost time for another deal. What do we got going on
now
here?
I want to show you something that I got that's fun.
Okay.
Da, 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 da.
I love
Make
that bag.
mine
I know
Marvel.
this
What
bag.
is
This is the
that?
1975 Marvel Con.
Yep, it's
I
a
was there.
1970.
I was
You
at
were
the
there?
show. I was there. Of course I was at
Yeah,
that show.
you can turn off your phone. Amazing.
There you go.
So look what I got. I got the
Gee, once I
bag.
threw it in the
Let me show
river.
it.
I regretted that later, I'll tell you. But
Turn the phone off, please. Thank you. Wow.
actually, see what that is? Is that Rob Liefeld? I've been calling him. Okay.
All right. So
Make mine marble.
now look at this. This is the program.
Oh, wow,
It's got
that's
all
in beautiful shape.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
you
this
know,
guy was
when
there.
this show opened, there was literally, it was the Commodore Hotel.
Yes.
Okay, there were literally
Hotel
lines
Commodore.
around the block.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember it, and the kids just kept coming in. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They're still coming at 3 o'clock.
And this was
you
all
know?
a show to promote Marvel and get subscriptions. And here's your order form for Migos and
beautiful,
merchandising.
beautiful condition.
Whoa.
Look at this. This
Order
guy
form.
was there. And here's the proof that he was there. Here's
Is
his
this
back.
a real
this?
Stanley
And
autograph?
that's a real Stanley
Wow,
autograph
that's a
back
nice
from the day.
one.
Well, you know what's funny is
Hi,
that
Stan.
That's not
it's the.
showing.
Well, did you see the news
yeah,
about Stan
you sent
today?
me a text about that. Unbelievable. $1 billion
Yeah,
lawsuit
he's filed
to
a
his
$1 billion
old company,
lawsuit.
POW. You know, I had tried to talk to him when POW was involved, and they kind of shunned me to the side.
Well,
So
what's cool about
you know,
this is that it has that.
Stan deserves whatever he
It has that autograph
deserves.
that looks exactly like that autograph on my dollar bill I have. That's cool. So that really appealed to me,
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
I got that for myself.
That's great.
So that's fun.
All
That's
right, how much?
Like fun to,
I'll buy
I'm not
that back
selling
from
them.
you. $200 for the whole thing with the bags.
No, I paid more than that.
Okay, $250.
No.
Okay.
No.
I
I'm
went
keeping
down.
that. That's for me.
Okay, it's
I
just
like
nice
that.
shape. This is, and that's again, collectibles and
Marky
condition.
Maypo.
It's key. The condition. Also, I have a prediction now that I'm starting to see, and I literally just saw it. I had a comic book that I was doing some business with literally
Yeah, put
yesterday.
that on the
an
thing.
All-Star number 3, which is a Golden Age comic book. Okay, I believe it's 1940, or is it 41? And it's the first appearance of the Justice Society,
League, where
which
they're-
what
so- yeah,
became
Justice
the Justice
Society,
League.
yeah.
You know, the DC's version of the Avengers,
Right.
so to speak, but this is 1940 original. So this All-Star number 3 used to be really hot way back in the 70s, then it slowed down, now it's picked back up again. I literally sold it, and in between the time I sold it, the person that I was brokering it for calls me and says, "Oh, I just took a deposit on it." I'm like, what? I had to call my customer and tell me couldn't buy it. But that's how hot this is right now. So my prediction is
You have to
All-Star
move fast
number
on
5.
stuff.
All-Star number 5, which is 2 issues later, the first appearance of Hawkgirl. Hawkgirl is going to get, she's in the TV show, so she's going to start to, eventually they're going to put her into the films. All-Star number 5. And all the All-Stars, I did also sell an All-Star number 8 this week, the first Wonder Woman.
Now, would you say that's
Everybody loves that book,
Would
right?
you say that was the first example of like a company putting a bunch of characters together to try to sell one book where they couldn't really sell their own books that much? Because you have some characters in there like Hour Man,
Sandman,
and
Dr. Midnight.
Sandman.
Yeah, but those
no,
guys
Dr.
went on
Midnight
to
was
be-
not in that book.
Dr. Midnight
no,
was
it wasn't.
later
The
on.
Atom. No, Dr. Midnight.
All right, we'll
wasn't
check
on
that later. We'll check. Anybody
But
have to
Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman were not in that.
No, I didn't say they were.
No, they were
Wonder Woman
sitting.
didn't appear
They
till
were
number
not
8.
sitting around
Yeah.
the table
Right.
for that original.
That's her first
comic.
appearance.
A
In
couple issues
All-Star,
later.
in All-Star, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What issue?
But I don't know if the idea was just, look, let's put all the bunch of them together and it'll sell better than the individuals.
Yeah,
So
I do.
I think we should form a Justice League of Dealers. I think that's not a bad idea. I've thought about that for a number of years. If any
That's
dealers are
interesting.
out there and interested in getting involved,
I think
we
it
could
would be
do
more
that.
like an Injustice League. It's like, how can I get you? No, I'm going to get you. I'm going
It
to.
can be a little contentious
I'm
at times.
gonna screw you on that deal, and you because you
It
screwed
does
me
get
on that
that
deal from 10 years ago when you didn't give me the first option on some
I think it's time to eat my
BS.
spinach. Okay,
like
we're gonna have
Anthony.
it's got time to do one more deal here, I think, before we're getting ready. We're going to be bringing we're going to be bringing our friend Reilly Brown in about 5 minutes. Okay. We talked about the shows that we're at, where we've been, where we're going to.
Well, we do
okay.
have film deals we did at the Art Con that Zadok and Terry put on that was very successful. We're going to get, we have some more interviews that we want to do, but we're probably going to start posting those that you can see on demand. That's what we're going to probably do with those. Because some of those ran really long and for the show. And so we have a live guest today, and we don't want to, cut to an interview for those.
I had a few other things. I've got an artist. Her name is Debbie Brown. She does sculptures. She did the Mona Lisa for the Mona Lisa Bugs Bunny. She helped create that. And she's really cool. She's going to come on and do a sculpture while we're talking, and at the end of the episode, she'll create it, and we can buy it if we want to.
Really?
Yeah, she's really cool. I'm waiting for the parents of the 6-year-old artist to give me the okay to bring him on the show. And if there's any other youngsters or kids or teenagers that draw and really want, send me an email to Carbo@gmail.com. Send it to Anthony's email Anthony at AnthonySnyder.com.
Right.
Right? Mike Carbo at Gmail. Send us your art. Send us your information. I want to bring you on. I want to get involved. If you've got ideas about films that you like, ideas about stories, writing, toys. Okay.
Toys.
This is my newest favorite thing. This
What
is
is
like
that?
toasted everything. You could put this is just the best.
Everything
They sell-
bagels.
My dentist is in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. It's the only one that'll give me the nitrous. That's why I go there. But
Okay.
anyhow,
What does that have to do with
nevertheless,
things? But-
This is the greatest invention. They have these little things you put it on, and you put it on the bagel, and it's the best. It's like an everything bagel.
It's a
There
toy
you go.
for your bagel.
It's awesome. I'm actually talking, and we want to do
Now
a
another
Shark
thing,
Tank.
toys.
another thing where we do want your deals to come on the show.
Okay.
Okay? And we might make some time later, if you have trouble getting here from work or whatever.
We'll
And
pay your expenses. Come
Yeah.
on down. Right now, we're ready to buy.
so as you can see, I have the Keep Calm and Keep Collecting Team Anthony
and
shirt.
I'll never come, but I keep selling stuff.
That's funny you said that, Michael Carbonaro, because if you come down and do a deal with Mike, you have the Don't Keep Calm and Keep Collecting.
Yes, I love it. That's great.
Yes.
Awesome. Don't keep calm.
So those,
I like
those, if you do
Yes.
come down and make a deal with us, if you make a
I
deal
said
with
I
Mike,
wasn't going to change the T-shirt, but I am a little bit later.
all right.
This is great, Anthony. Thank you. That's awesome. Good stuff, man. I love
stuff.
it. It's great. Okay, it's time for one last deal right before we bring Reilly on. Okay, this is like really super cool stuff. It's just kind of cool. These are originals from the 1930s. You have a shadow. These are little books. They were a quarter, 25 cents. They go right on your bookshelf. Okay, these come right from the pulp magazines, but they created books in them. And look at these covers. Look at the art. Look how beautiful they are. Okay, and this is the Wizard of Oz.
Wow.
Okay, photos from the movie.
Now-
This is not just. This is photos.
Now,
of
Mike,
the Wizard
is this
of
a
Oz.
Doc Savage
Okay,
book?
that's a Doc Savage. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
by
Doc
Kenneth
Savage.
Robeson, because
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I loved these stories. I read, there was like 72 paperbacks, I think, and I read every one of them. That was my reading. I love Kenneth Robeson.
Photos from the Wizard of Oz. Okay,
So that's,
and really nice illustration. But here's the kicker.
After 39.
Scottish Chiefs, but here it is illustrated by N.C. Wyeth. Okay.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful
Okay, I mean, you may love Norman Rockwell, but N.C. Wyeth is absolutely the precursor to any of that. I mean, look at this. I mean,
Let me show.
one of my favorite artists is Maxwell Parrish.
That's incredible.
By the way, if anyone loves Maxwell Parrish, at the St. Regis Hotel in New York City, there's original Maxwell Parrish on the walls behind the bar. So
Yeah, so
go and
these
have
are
a drink
story
and toast the back,
illustrations
but
by a guy
He was
that-
influenced
that,
by
that,
it.
that influenced all the artists that came
Yeah.
after him.
Absolutely
everybody
incredible.
is like
So
probably if you ask
Look
Frank
at this, look at
Frazetta,
this, look at the
I mean
lighting.
he was
at how beautiful that
super
is.
influenced by this guy and somebody that they sourced the source material was
Wow.
just amazing.
all right, we got to make a quick deal here. We got these 4 books. I'm going to give you a killer deal.
Well, what year is the Wizard of Oz from?
I think it's 40-something, 43, right
Well, it
after
has
the
to
movie.
be 40.
40. Let's take a look here. Right to 19.
Let me see. I can see
Something
better.
like that. Yeah, it's right after the. It's right after. It's right after the movie. A few years after the movie. So
And
okay.
I didn't show that book. Let me show it.
175 bucks.
Well, what year is this? I started to figure out Dorothy. See,
40s or whatever. Okay, come on. We
That's
got
cool.
1 minute to make the deal.
1 minute.
There you go. Yeah. 1
Where's the
minute
bomb?
left.
Where's the bomb?
Well, I
Let's
just
see.
like these to have, so I'll give you a couple $100 for these.
Fine, great. I'm taking 175 and you're in. Okay.
All right, 175.
Oh, there it goes. The time bomb is going to happen. So whoever picks it up, and the spinach is gone.
All right.
Okay.
So,
Yay! I think that means it signifies it's time to bring on.
Riley Brown.
Ta-da!
Yay.
I'll take you right or you. Hi, Mr.
Yay.
Brown. Welcome to the
We
show.
have your Deadpool seat for you.
Deadpool, good to
Welcome,
see you, my
Riley.
friend.
Your throne.
Hey, guys.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me here.
And you have Lady Deadpool behind
How you doing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay. So thanks for coming on, and it's great that I've had the opportunity to work with you in your career and see you grow and do so well, and but the main thing you're known for is Deadpool. So what
That's-
better combination to have today? It's
Certainly
like,
drawn a lot of Deadpool
so
comics.
how did you get started in comics?
I just always loved drawing ever since I was a little kid, and I liked comic book stuff. Like I liked the mutants and the robots and the monsters, and so growing up, I'd go to art museums and stuff, and I'd think that
really?
Well, you know,
seems cool.
Well, yeah, you know, like every kid, but I'd see like Picasso and people drawing like landscapes and stuff. And I just thought that was so boring, and I wanted to draw cool stuff like, you know, He-Man and Thundercats and stuff like that.
So you're kind of a child of the early '90s. Is that when you were
Well, I grew up. Yeah, I mean, I was born in '81, so.
Where did you grow up? Jersey? Here?
Yep, in New Jersey.
Did you have a
Montclair,
local
New
comic
Jersey.
book store that you went to, or a local like stationery store where you bought your comics?
There were
and
two.
I'll bet you remember it absolutely
I
perfectly.
mean, one of them's still there. There were two stores, and they were like across the street from each other. There was, which is really weird. There was Time Warp, and there
Oh, I
was.
know Time Warp. Yeah.
They
used to come to my Big Apple conventions.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, that was a long time ago, though. And then there was like the Montclair used bookstore, which was right across the street.
You'd find the deals there.
I got like half of the Akira run for $1 each, like when I was in
Akira,
8th grade. It was awesome. Yeah.
That is awesome.
I remember wandering around Manhattan when I was like 10, 11 years old. I don't know how my parents let me, but I would go looking around in those antique stores and they'd have a stack of comics and I'd just be like, how much are these? They'd be like $0.25 a piece. And there was like ECs and all kinds of Euro stuff.
I got
in it.
ECs at the thrift stores. My mom
Right?
didn't let me, but she came with me. And we went to all the thrift stores on 1st and 2nd Avenue. They were filled with them.
what-
I remember getting a pile of ECs,
Well,
man.
me and my brothers would do.
ECs
We'd
and
go.
the horror comic books.
Me and my brothers would go dumpster diving behind the CVS, where you could get.
Dumpster diving?
No
I
way.
had some friends who liked the dumpster dive, too.
Well, we don't do it anymore, but you could get all the comics where they'd like rip off the covers to get refunds on the stuff they didn't sell.
Right.
Oh,
But
the
in the dumpster
retail
comic books,
returns.
right.
Wow.
But in the dumpster, you get the rest of the comics, and it's like we were
Those were great to read. You wouldn't worry about the condition.
Mike
Exactly.
likes
Look at
those.
them.
He always has deals
That's
with
great.
those with the covers half
That's
ripped
great.
off, and he wants to sell them to me, but I don't like
Was
them.
Marvel the first comic company you started drawing with?
Yep, that's right.
And that was
After-
your love, or kind of wanted to, or was it something else and Marvel opened the door for you, or how did that happen?
X-Men and Spider-Man were my favorite heroes. So after college, I was going around to conventions showing off my portfolio, and John Barber at Marvel was an editor there. and
John
he-
Barber, I
Yeah.
don't know that name. Anthony, did you know John Barber?
He's an
He's
editor at Marvel.
He actually just got promoted to editor-in-chief of IDW.
Oh, really?
okay.
Okay.
So he's still around. He's doing well.
That's Greg Goldstein runs IDW, right?
I don't know their whole.
Yeah, I sell him
Structure.
art. That's why I know him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a client of mine.
But anyway, he hired me on to do the 2005 holiday special, which was awesome.
Oh,
Oh, I
Deadpool.
remember that. It was like
Of Marvel. And then-
Marvel?
295, or it was
Yeah, it
a
was
thick,
just-
thick book, I think.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it was like 30 or 40 pages.
Yeah,
I think.
okay.
And that was my first gig. And after that, Nicole Booth hired me to fill in with a few issues of Cable and Deadpool with Fabian Nicieza as the writer. And
There we go.
and me and Fabian have continued to work together on many projects since then.
So Fabian is the co-creator of Deadpool. We were trying to get him on to do it.
He got back to me. He
Oh, really?
can't. We can call him if we want.
Yo, cool.
Yeah.
let's try it
Should we call him
later. Yeah, if, you know.
Tell me when you're ready. We could do it now, or we could
Yeah,
do it.
go
You do it
ahead.
right now.
Let's do it.
Let's
Okay.
see. Excellent. I was trying to call Rob
An
Liefeld.
impromptu phone call to the co-creator of Deadpool.
All right, this is
Rob Liefeld, who also created, I was trying to call
Yeah,
him.
they,
and he hasn't gotten back to me yet. So even if he wants to come on next week and talk to us, come on down,
is
Rob.
awesome.
I want to bring him to Big Apple in March. So,
let's see.
uh-oh. Now my competition is going to get old first. Now I'll make him a better offer.
All right.
Yeah, Rob has
That'd be
been
great.
at my booth looking
Fabian
at
is super
art.
cool.
I can't remember exactly what he collects, but I know people that collect him.
Hello.
Hey, Fabian, how you doing? Let's see
Doing
if this
good, Riley. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. I'm here on Selling Heroes with Anthony
Carbo
and Carbo.
Anthony's.
I couldn't hear a word you said, Riley, because I was with those other guys where they started yapping really loud.
Can you guys hear him? He's
Yeah,
on the
we're
speakerphone.
fine.
Okay, yeah. It's a Twitch TV show here, and we're just talking about Deadpool and all this, or Be Terrific, whatever. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
all good. Twitch.
Who are these morons? I'm talking
That's us.
It's Mike Carbonaro. You've been at his show, right?
I have, yes.
We hung out in Las Vegas some years ago, Fabian. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. Thanks for
I hung out
calling
in
in.
Las
Thanks.
Vegas some years ago. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's the start to several really, really bad stories.
Okay.
And they're all true.
Yep.
So are you excited for this next film that's coming out this weekend, and you're at the premiere and such?
I already saw it, so I'm not all that excited right now.
Oh, okay.
I saw it on Monday, so okay, there you go. Yes, I'm excited to see how it does. I hope it does well. Everybody bases success or failure on box office, and the first one did so phenomenally well all over the world that you're always concerned that in order to top it, you got to go, 10 times greater, and that's just not humanly possible. So I'm hoping it does well, and that people consider it a success, even if it only makes 25 million more than the first one did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only 25 million.
I tell you, as a fan of the first movie and the character, I'm looking more forward to this than the Avengers. I am, because of the humor involved.
Well, I disagree, but we can talk about that
No,
later.
well,
But
we can
Deadpool is
disagree.
going to be fun. I'm excited.
It's a fun is the operative term. It's a really, really fun movie. It's very, very loud, very, very hectic action. But at the end of the day, you're laughing your ass off a lot.
How was the response from the audience at the end of the premiere you went to on Monday? Was it a stand-up and cheer response?
But yeah, the response was super positive. But I was in a screening room. I was with all Fox people and invited
the old
guests. I wasn't even in
fogies.
a fan screening room. So they have a vested interest in sucking up to all the creative people. So they applauded everything. But it was good, and the closing credits really were funny. And that really makes you leave the theater with a big smile on your face, because the closing credits scenes are pretty clever and crack you up.
Amazing. We'll watch a movie for 2 hours and wait for the last 5 minutes, if that, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, the story's told, and they do a good job telling the story, right, Reilly? I mean, you agree. They do a good job telling the story.
Yeah, it was great.
But they had some lingering stuff they could take care of.
I mean, we're creators. We are always going to have our quibbles, I think.
So have the movies inspired you to push the boundaries of your comic book ideas going forward? Having seen that and taken some of that and, talking about it and thinking about it?
No.
Okay.
I mean, they take so much from the comic
movies,
books.
The movies are based on the characters we worked on 10 years ago. So why wouldn't the question be the other way around? Shouldn't you be asking the movie people if they haven't looked at the comics and been inspired to expand the boundaries and take it further?
That's one of the things I think is so cool about it, is they're obviously looking at the comics for so many of their cues, and even obscure stuff that they're pulling from the comic books to put into the movies. And I want to talk about some of those things, but I shouldn't do that yet, because nobody else has seen the movie.
Talk about everything. We're ready to do it, Anthony.
Well, speaking of creator,
Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese really pay attention to this stuff. They also, because the first movie's budget was lower and because it was such a struggle for them to get it made, it was like necessity was the mother of invention for them. They knew that they couldn't do stuff with big name characters that Fox had the licensing rights to. Right. So they purposefully went in the other direction, and that was by far to the betterment of Deadpool as a property. It's perfect for Deadpool to have some of the really lame-o characters that they've incorporated into the movies, and this one does an even better job of bringing out even more lame-o characters.
There are a lot of superheroes in this movie.
Oh,
okay,
cool.
wait. How many of the characters that were in the second movie did you help create?
Oh, not many. I don't think yeah, no. A lot of those characters are tertiary, secondary characters.
Okay. I know Shatterstar's in there.
Some were made
like
after me. I mean, Shatterstar, I was there from the very beginning, but I never take the blame for Shatterstar, so I give Rob all the credit for Shatterstar.
We blame you anyhow.
I always hated Shatterstar, so I give Rob all the credit for Shatterstar. I had to write him for 4 friggin' years, but I didn't technically create him.
Right.
So Domino, Cable, and Deadpool are characters I've written, for years and years and years, and Cable, over 100 issues of Cable I've written.
Yeah. Okay.
But a lot of the other secondary characters, and we don't want to name names though, right, Reilly? Because we don't want to give it away, because some of them are pretty.
Yes,
I heard there was amazing
Easter eggs.
cameos and walk-ons and 10 seconds if you blink you'll miss it kind of guys in the show. Yeah.
can't
I'm
wait.
actually seeing it again. We're doing a fan screening for the convention I'm out here at in Ontario, California, Comic-Con Revolution. So we're doing a fan screening Friday morning.
Ontario! Shout out to Ontario, California. There's
some of those little bits.
Yeah, man.
There's a cool speedway out there, right? I remember Deep Purple played there in 1974, the Ontario Speedway.
Wow.
This is like references you're pulling out of your ass.
I got him. I got lots more too, Fabian.
I'm the one who usually gets blamed for pulling out old references.
That's a new character, the reference.
Season 2 of Happy Days, episode 4. Where did Chuck go? That's what I want to know.
That's cool. So when New Mutants '98, how long have you been on New Mutants as a writer?
That was my first issue.
That was your first
Holy
issue.
caramba.
Wow, I
That's
didn't realize.
great.
What a way to start.
Technically, I scripted an issue before that because Louise Simonson was on vacation and they were really late on the schedule. So I scripted 93. And then they asked me to come on board when Rob was going to take over as plotter, and that was with 98.
Okay.
And I was Marvel's advertising manager, so I was there already working, and I was part of a group that was really siding with Rob and advocating ending New Mutants and launching X-Force. So by the time we started on New Mutants, we'd already that decision had been made, and people who needed to be convinced had been convinced to do that. So I started on New Mutants 98 knowing that 100 was going to be the last issue and we were going to relaunch.
Oh, wow. That was my question, because it feels like, you started on this, you created this character, and then it got canceled. But, I mean, did it get canceled, or they just
Not at
felt
all,
like...
no. Well, technically, yes, it got canceled because it was a monthly book that ceased publication.
Yes.
So, yes, it got canceled, but
Right.
it was a purposeful cancellation because we were relaunching it as a newly branded product, and that was X-Force. And that was Rob's idea. Rob wanted to do that, and a lot of people at Marvel didn't want to do that. They were really scared of that idea because, frankly, you're canceling a top 10 selling book and relaunching it as something else. But the marketing director, whose name was Sven Larson, and myself as the advertising manager, we were supporting that very strongly because we thought it was an excellent idea, and we were able to convince our editor, which was Bob Harris, and the minute we got Bob, it's like dominoes start to topple, because once we convinced Bob, then we were able to convince Mike Hobbs, or Tom DeFalco was the editor-in-chief, and Tom was able to convince Carol Kalish was the head of direct sales, and Mike Hobbs was the publisher, so we had to just topple the dominoes up the ladder, and convince everybody, and then once we did that, we realized we had Jim Lee and Chris Claremont were going to launch a secondary XMen title, and that would be a Summer of X, and that's when the first issue of X-Force sold 6 million copies.
Right.
I still have a few unopened boxes in my warehouse, so yes, that was a good idea at the time that you guys did.
Dude, sell them while they're hot.
And so the X-Men 1 that Jim Lee
sold 8
did.
million comics.
Wow, yeah.
The X-Men 1 that Jim Lee
Yeah,
did.
the Summer of
that
X-Men.
was the
My God, it
largest
was
selling
amazing.
comic of all time, right? I think that
Yeah, it still is the best-selling comic of all time.
Yeah,
I think.
because it was 4 issues. You had to buy all 4 to get the whole diorama.
6 covers?
No, it was 4,
right? Yeah.
It was 4.
A, B, C, and D,
X-Force had
right.
5 trading cards bagged into.
That was the X-Force.
Yeah.
So that was 5 variants. I think X-Men. I don't remember. I think it was it 3 or 4
No,
or
it
5?
was 4
I don't
ABCD.
remember.
Yeah.
how many.
There were
different
5
colors.
because there was one that
It was a gold
because there's the
variant
one
or
that
something.
folds out, and then each one of the
Wow.
Yes,
the
there
fold
you
out
go.
one?
Thank you, Riley.
He's
You
right. I had a
remember better than I
comic book
do.
store during
Yeah.
that period, 19. And it was just absolutely. I mean, X-Men. You couldn't. I'd order 300, and I'd have to reorder another 300. Maybe something like 1,000 to 2,000 every week of whatever title X one it was. Just put the X in front of it. It was great, literally.
I have a
That little
question.
anecdote seems to belie the theory that everyone was sitting on them and stuffed with
Right.
boxes of them that they couldn't sell. I'm
Yeah.
fairly certain we sold a few of those 6 million comics. I'm pretty sure that it wasn't 6 people each buying 1 million comics a piece.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
Well,
I
I
have
know, I
a
have
question.
one.
I actually read New Mutants 98 yesterday, and
Wow.
Deadpool just seems to pop out of nowhere to attack Cable. So where is he coming from, and what was his motivation to kill Cable?
I didn't plot the book, okay? I just,
The plot thickens.
there was a lot of characters popping in and out of nowhere in those issues. I believe X-Force 1 through 12 or 13 had many characters popping in and out of nowhere, but all of a sudden after X-Force 14 and onwards, there was a little bit of semblance of sanity to why characters were popping in and out. Deadpool was hired by a guy named Tolliver to take out Cable, and later on we will find out that Tolliver was Cable's son from the future, blah blah blah, but Deadpool had technology, I believe woven into a suit, because Rob never explained that to me. So this enabled Deadpool to basically, teleport back then.
Okay.
And it was lame, and yet it was what was done.
And then,
How is the teleportation in the film portrayed? Is it good? Do you like it?
I think they did an excellent job with teleportation in the film. He actually has to run from point A to point B, or steal a scooter.
The old-fashioned
That's how
way.
he teleports.
That's
He
awesome.
teleports on foot.
Okay.
So when you worked on that book back then, I mean, it was a big success, and then there was kind of ebbs and flows in the comic history. Could you ever imagine the kind of success that the characters have achieved to this day?
Yes, I could imagine the success that he has had, because it was a gradual process that really started around 2010 or so. It wasn't the movie took it to a higher level still, but be aware that for 5-6 years before the movie even came out, you still had Deadpool merchandise all over Spencer gift stores and Hot Topic
And all those
stores. You had a
Deadpool
video
comic books in
game,
different
animation
formats,
appearance.
issues.
What I really like to point out is, and people don't seem to quite get how these things build. In 2012, there were Deadpool cosplayers that started posting videos on this thing called YouTube, and they were getting 50,000, 100,000 hits, and you're like, wow, the comic's not even selling that much.
Yeah.
Those same videos a year or two later had 10 and 14 million views.
Yeah, and these guys, there would be like 50 or almost 100 different Deadpools variations on the same character in those videos, right?
yeah, man. He was huge even before the movie came out.
That's something that was happening above and apart from the comics and predates the movie.
Yeah.
So clearly that this was a character that was hitting the
A chord,
zeitgeist
yeah, a nerve.
of a teen audience that was very social media active. And that actually helped propel the movie's success, because by the time the movie came out, a lot of people already knew who this character was in the target demo of 14 to 30, right? And if you started liking Deadpool in 2012 because you saw a YouTube video of him, by the time the movie came out in 2016, you are now 17 or older, so you can go see an R-rated movie, right?
Yeah.
So that's why
that's
the
true.
R-rated. That's why the R rating didn't hurt the movie in the least. It actually ended up helping it, because it gave it some underground subversive cred.
And it was that was a breakthrough a movie as a superhero movie that was an R movie that did well and garnered that audience that really broke that ground.
Six-figure.
Right?
Well, I'm sure Blade would call you and have a
That's true.
The truth is that Blade was
Vampire
very
Slayer.
successful for its budget and what it did, but I mean, the Deadpool success was astronomically higher than anyone predicted.
Yeah.
They were thinking on the high end that movie could make $300 to $350 million globally, and off a $60 million budget, that's phenomenal. But the movie made $700 million worldwide, so it just blew everyone's expectations out of the water, and that's why I get worried with the second one that people's expectations are going to be too high. If Deadpool 2 doesn't gross $70 billion, someone is going to write a blog about how it's a failure, and someone else is going to write a blog about how superhero fatigue is set in.
Right.
Well, that's just all talk. I mean, you can't have superhero fatigue when Avengers did $1 billion in the first week.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
come
have
on.
to create a new superhero, the Billionaire, right?
I want to actually create a superhero called Fatigue.
That's awesome.
We can have superhero, fatigue.
Well, that's something we can
That's
talk
great.
about.
That's
is
great.
You and
You heard it
Reilly's
here first.
new character Outrage and the project you guys are working on.
We're working on that, Riley. Yes, we're working on
Superhero
it.
Outrage.
Nice.
We're working on it ever so slowly. Yes,
Okay,
it's
man.
actually
I've seen
something
it now.
that Riley and I have been talking about for a long time, and it was a matter of me not being lazy and Riley having a window and a schedule to be able to do something. We've been wanting to work together, or at least I had been wanting to work with Riley again. I mean, I don't think he wants to work with me, but we had an opportunity to do this with a web publisher that was giving us a good platform and the right platform, I think, for the character. So it seemed like a good fit to do it at this time.
Yeah.
Although literally at this time would have been the good fit, because release of Deadpool 2 would have been the perfect time to launch Outrage. But it's coming. It'll be out in a few weeks. I give it 4 to about 6 weeks, right, Reilly?
Yeah,
we're gonna get this sucker out there.
Yeah, that's what the guys at Webtoon are saying.
Yeah,
You want to tell us a little bit about the character, his origin, and what the...
I'm usually pretty open and honest that I don't think of myself as a great idea guy. I really don't. I'm a nuts and bolts guy, and I think I'm pretty good with creating entertainment in a nuts and bolts fashion. And I really respect and admire friends of mine in the industry who are idea guys like Dan Slott or Scott Lobdell, who just have 500 ideas in a day, and they don't care that 490 of them suck, because 10 are excellent, and then they just move on the next day to have another 500 ideas.
Yeah.
And I don't think that way, but I just remember a few years ago, somebody said something stupid online, and somebody else said, that guy deserves to get the shit kicked out of him. And all I thought was, well, wouldn't it be great if someone could appear out of your computer or your phone and smack the crap out of you if you were being an ass? And it was as simple as that. And Outrage was the name I had from the very, very beginning. I didn't even have to search for the name because the name was there already. What honestly stunned me is that no one had that name yet in use. And as I texted Reilly before this phone call, the trademark application is official. So
Great. So it's ours now.
So the fact that no one had trademarked it still boggles my mind a couple of years later. And the idea that everyone is outraged about something out there now is perfect fodder for this character. But I wanted it to be a little bit more, in my mind, than a guy who smacks people around and says stupid things. And to that extent, I wanted to have a story that maybe also explores why there is outrage, why there is an outrage, meaning this character, but also why there is outrage with people. Why do they feel this need to go online and be the way they're being? And it's all of us. I'm not saying I'm better than anyone else. I succumb to it too. And then I ask myself, why did I succumb to saying something stupid or getting in an argument with someone online who I don't even know? It's just a name on a Facebook thread, And I think that the idea for me is the first half of our story is who is outrage, and the second half of our story is why is outrage. And I want to have fun, and I want to have a character who's a little bit crazy and a little bit fun, but ultimately I want the readers to think a little bit about why they do what they do. And maybe if that happens, the world will be a better, more beautiful place.
Oh, that's a nice sentiment. We like that.
Yay!
So
Outrage will make the world a
starting
better
as a
place.
comic book. It's coming out. Is it going to be a cartoon? It looks very like
Reilly, you describe it to them if you want.
it's got that feel to it right away. Like it's going to be animated. Beavis and Butthead versus Outrage.
That would be something. It's going to be on Line Webtoon, which is a webcomic site, and it's going to be for free every week. There's going to be a new chapter up, and and it's a hugely popular website.
And how many pages will each be when it comes out?
Well, the interesting thing about the web platform is there aren't really pages. It's like a vertical scroll.
Okay.
So you just start at the top of the chapter and you read it and scroll down until you get to the end of the chapter, and then you move on to the next one.
Do you do it like a little bit like the old comic strips, or is it just traditional comic book style, or a combination of things?
I've never worked in a comic quite like this before.
Wow.
Essentially, the images are very tall.
Oh, really? So this is going to be interesting.
Because you just stack the panels on top of each other.
I want to see this now. I want to see this when it comes out.
It's coming out soon.
The app is free to download for your phone or your iPad. Subscribing to the site is free. It has hundreds and hundreds of comic titles on it from all over the world. A lot of different genres too.
We need to get them as a sponsor for the next episode. They want to do more with. They wanted to do more with North American creators starting a year or two ago. So they started reaching out to people to see if there was an interest. And Reilly and I have done digital comics before. For Marvel, he's done a gajillion of them. And we really love the format. We really love working this way. Although we're used to horizontal scroll, so vertical was a little bit of a difference. And it's good because you get free stuff.
How bad is that?
When you say tall, what do you mean? The images are tall?
Well, it's like a regular article that you read online where you
Okay.
just scroll down as you
You
read
mean
it.
Windsor McKay type surreal tall, or that kind
I
of?
mean, you can do things like that. It's like there's there's like visually there's a lot you can do with a layout that's
That's interesting.
that way.
Yeah.
So-
You can have some fun with that.
Didn't Ryan Benjamin do one where you were just scrolling down, like going underwater or something? You kept spiraling further and further down underwater.
Oh, that's
There's a lot of cool stuff on there.
Yeah.
Like
That sounds really
Ryan's was like I think his had like animation and music and stuff in there, and I don't know. It's a really
All
cool
right,
platform.
we gotta get involved in this website.
Yeah.
This is cool.
So Webtoon is the app, and that'll be available coming soon.
No, the app is available now. You can download. I got the
Well, I know.
app.
Yeah,
I
but
got the
you're-
app on my phone. Outrage should be debuting in July.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
July.
Thank you so much for joining us today,
My
Fabian.
pleasure, guys.
That's-
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
All right, baby.
Hail and farewell. Have
Talk
fun
to
in
you later.
Ontario.
Talk to you
You're
later,
going to
buddy.
be in Ontario at that
California.
con for the
Hey, so I'm
weekend.
gonna go to the Speedway now.
And then you're going to be at Mike's Big Apple Show.
I will be talking to you about that one, Fabian. I'll make you an offer you can't
We gotta
refuse.
see if Mike can afford my appearance.
Okay.
Yeah, because it just went up.
Bye, guys.
All right. See you later.
If I
man.
can sell Anthony more stuff, I can afford
Bye.
it.
Bye,
Bye.
Fabian. Thanks so much
Bye,
for
thank
joining
you.
us.
All
That
right.
was awesome.
All right, somebody says I want to see more art.
All right.
Okay.
Our
So
friend here,
This
the
is cool because
Ownerd.
these are our drawings, commissions that
Yeah, let's see the art.
Riley has
Let's
done
see the art, Riley.
to be available and for sale. And let's see, should I set
Look
the
at
price
that.
or should
Can
you?
Well, you're my art dealer. You know the market. You set the
You're
price.
my art dealer. I love the way that
That's-
sounds.
so
Let's get buttons. We need buttons, Sharon.
That's a cool-
You're my art
Oh,
dealer.
yeah.
Comic book
That would be
version
great.
of Domino.
Yeah.
Tell us about her.
serious.
Now, she's a little different in the comics than in the movies, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, Domino is kind of like she's the badass female mercenary, and she has her luck superpowers. So that's
so she's super lucky? That's
the
really her
greatest
power?
one.
That's her power.
Oh my
Power
God.
is luck.
Yeah.
How about that for an
Well,
idea?
as a
I
guy,
mean,
as a guy that tried to be a professional poker player at one time in his life, I understand that because some people are just luckier than other people.
Yeah.
You literally, I quit because my luck gland in my brain or wherever it is, it ran out.
Yeah.
I mean, I stopped being lucky. And the cards betrayed me, and I quit. So being professionally lucky in life is a talent, and there's professional poker players are out there
there.
to prove it.
Right.
I mean, you're not
They got
better
the cards.
than anybody
Yeah.
else. You just the cards come to you.
So
I mean,
as the badass mercenary, she, the luck gives her an extra edge.
That's true. I love her
Puts her
hair.
on top.
that's
Isn't that
cool.
cool?
There was a
Wow.
Carl Barks duck figure that was professionally lucky, and I can't remember his name. He used to walk down the street and find money in what was his name? It was. Gladstone Gander or something like that. That
Really?
character, yeah.
Gyro Gearless?
No, he was a scientist.
Uh-huh.
But there was a friend,
Gearless.
Good karma,
Donald, that was just lucky. He was just so lucky. That was he used to walk down the street in life being lucky. And Donald was always struggling and not really making a living. And Uncle Scrooge was jealous of him because he was just lucky.
I think we're pretty lucky. How lucky you feel to be able to draw comic books and enjoy this
It's
field
pretty
and
cool,
just,
especially these days when people actually know who comic book characters are. The superheroes are the biggest thing. Like 5 years ago, I'd tell people, "Oh, I draw the Deadpool comic," and people would say, "Who's that?" But now I don't have to explain anything. They think it's super cool that I work on Deadpool.
And even when you were collecting comic books as a kid in the 80s
Yeah.
and 90s, you kind of okay, the comic book store is over there, you had to find it
kind
now.
of grimy and stuff. Now
Since
it's
the advent
cool,
of the films,
it's huge.
everybody loves the comic books
It's
and the comic
huge.
book
It's very
characters.
cool.
But isn't
Yeah.
this fun? And it is lucky, Anthony. Come on, buying and selling comic
I
art
mean, this
and
is-
comic books. I've been lucky since.
It's doing working in a
out of the
medium
womb,
that
selling
I
comic
loved,
books.
that I loved as a kid. That was fundamental in my maturation as a visual artist when I became a photographer. I mean, comics were huge for that. It was a visual medium that influenced me tremendously when I made a living as a photographer. And then, when this business kept growing and growing, and advertising kept getting harder and harder, like Fabian talked about, he was in
Yeah.
advertising, and now he's on the creative side. I mean, this this creating jobs for people. And, you know, the only problem with this business is it's kind of a hunter-gatherer sort of nature to it. You got to get the deals. You know,
if you don't work, it doesn't come to
Yeah,
you.
you
You gotta
gotta
go out
work
and
for the
find it.
deals.
You gotta get up in the morning. You gotta go and get the stuff.
Yep.
You know?
Now, this is a cool piece. This you did for a convention cover for a show?
Yeah, I did that. That was a poster for the Long Island Comic Convention from a week or two ago.
Oh, cool.
Oh, the one
Yeah.
on May 6th. Yeah, we were at the
Yeah,
Art
just
Con.
did it.
I wanted to go to
Yeah.
that. That's cool.
It was cool. It was a really cool. It was just one day,
really?
little
You
show,
did
but it was
posters?
really
Was it
cool.
well attended?
Yeah, it was.
Would you
packed.
consider doing a pinup for a program book from the Big Apple in March
Yeah.
or something
Yeah,
like that?
man.
I'll
we
talk
could
to you
work
about
something
his
out.
rate.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
He's my rep over
great.
here.
At least I'll take it. If both of you guys work with me, that'd be great. Excellent.
So you have some other like mixed media type things that are kind of cool here.
When you say
Yeah.
mixed media, Anthony, what exactly does
well,
that
I mean,
mean?
you know, it's
You've actually taught me so much
a
about
line
art.
art drawing, but he put it on a metal.
Yeah, I was just playing around with different printing techniques. So I
That's really
have
cool. I love
some.
Oh, look at the metal. Wow,
This
that's
is,
neat.
Awesome.
This is a Deadpool versus Lobo piece that I did after I started working on the Lobo comic. Like I worked on Deadpool for so long, and then I moved over to DC. They put me on Lobo, and I was like, oh come on, like how cool would it be if these guys got together? So
Well, they're very
That's
similar type
incredible.
characters.
Well, I
so
know.
wide
Did you have to connect the
tracking
rights to get the two of them together? And
I mean, no, this was kind of just
your own
this is kind of a
fan.
promotional piece. For,
Right.
Like I made it. I used that image on my poster at comic conventions.
They've never really crossed over. This is
No.
just something
Wow,
he did.
that's
Such a missed-
awesome.
Yeah.
So I sent that to my editors and was like, "Come on, guys, this is a missed opportunity."
And
Let's make
Lobo's
it
first appearance was in
Wow.
Omega Man #3, which I bought 10,000 copies of in 1981 when it came out.
And how many do you
That's
have
a-
left?
That saved my butt in the 90s when my partner threw me out of my own comic book store. I had like 10,000, I had 5,000 copies and I was selling them for like $10 a piece. So
That's
I saved-
cool.
Yeah.
So what do you
Lobo
charge
and
for
Deadpool,
the
what a
metal
great
prints?
combination.
The metal ones,
May I pick this up?
those are. I had the price at 130
amazing.
bucks.
Oh, okay.
That's all?
At least that's what the sticker said. Yeah.
And the
Wow.
full size
Look at
11 by
this.
17 commissions you're charging.
And so, is this one of a kind, Anthony?
These are. It's one of 50.
One of 50. Okay,
Yeah,
so
there's
there's
a
only
print.
50.
Then I have these wooden ones that are the same
great.
thing.
That's
really
cool.
cool.
Oh, that's
I
a
like
cable
the wood
Deadpool
block.
son.
Yeah.
Wow.
So how much are the 11 by 17s?
How nice.
You tell me. What do you think's a good price for this?
Well, I like the cable at like 200 and I like the other two at like 150 or so. Is that cool?
Oh, you really like
But
that?
her
cable?
hair,
Yeah, that
yeah.
makes
Her
sense
hair
to
is
me. Yeah.
awesome.
And then the pin up at like
I'm gonna get my next
around
haircut like
500.
that one.
Is that cool with you?
That sounds about right to me.
Yeah. So one of the things we wanted to do today was do a Deadpool trivia question. And the winner of that trivia question gets a sketch by Reilly, a quick sketch, because, I mean, we don't have a lot of time while he's on the show, and you get to pick it out. Now, my question was, so you're going to, like, the first person that can, chat in there is... There was a meeting with that crazy, like Asian Coulson type, but he was like a pedophile type of guy. You know, what was his name in the first movie?
In the first
Francis.
Deadpool movie.
Francis. Okay, so
I don't think he was really a pedophile.
okay. They talk about as a
I don't know. I think he was. Okay.
Well,
as
yeah.
a black ops soldier.
People know.
As a black ops soldier, how many confirmed kills that Deadpool had? What's his real name?
Wade Wilson.
Wade Wilson, thank you.
Oh my.
So, if you combine the number of confirmed kills he had with the number of people he killed in Deadpool, what's that total
Come
number?
on, that's impossible.
No, it's not
It's
impossible. It's easy.
662.
No,
I mean, come on.
No, that's wrong. So you don't get the free sketch. So whoever can like chat in here and get as close to that number
love the metal
that's
piece.
in my head gets
Me
that
too.
sketch.
Whoever can
But-
find that scene on their DVD the quickest.
Okay.
That's
I know.
What art do we have here? This is great. Are these metals one of are these wood blocks?
that's
are these
already-
1 of 50?
we already
Same?
looked at those.
Yes.
1 of 50. And how much
Yeah.
are these?
Same price, I think.
135?
Yeah. Well,
That's great.
This is cool. Let's talk about this as an art
yeah.
piece.
Look at that. So what is this
Whoa.
called when you open it up?
Here,
I mean,
I'll
a
hold it up
splash
for you.
usually is 2 pages. This is a it's a
Triptych,
triptych.
right?
Yeah, triptych.
So this was 3 covers on one, or was this a fold-out cover?
This was 3 covers. They were each cover was part of a crossover. So this was the cover for Spider-Man and Deadpool. This was Mercs for Money, and this one was Deadpool.
All right, with his hot girlfriend, comic book girlfriend, we should say. Not that Marina Baccarena isn't the hottest thing on earth, but you know, that's that.
Shikla, the
Shikla.
daughter of the damned. The
Wow.
Miranda, the actress in Deadpool too.
Yeah.
I love the spider. That's incredible.
Deadpool's
Whoa.
crazy soul-sucking succubus of an ex-wife.
Ah!
So she comes from a kind of vampire background or she's Dracula's daughter.
No, she was Dracula's fiance.
Wow, nice.
That Deadpool spent. Me and Jerry Duggan and Brian Posehn did a storyline called Dracula's Gauntlet, where Dracula hires Deadpool to bring
Dracula hires
Dracula's
Deadpool. That's
fiance
great.
to him. Yeah, but along the way, Deadpool decides he's going to cockblock Dracula and steals the woman, and then they join forces to fight Deadpool in the end. And then he spent the last
we have some suggestions there, but continue.
Okay,
It's interesting.
Okay, I'm going
What
to give you
happens?
some clues. It's higher than 75. The number I have in my head is
Wait,
the
I
winner.
want to hear the rest of the story. Anthony.
Okay,
This
sorry.
is good.
Okay, well, so then in the
Over
comics,
9,000.
Deadpool spent 3 or 4 years married to this evil succubus woman who kept trying to take over the world because she was a legit supervillain.
What the
Deadpool
heck?
couldn't quite acknowledge. He was just kind of like, "Why do you keep trying to take over the world?" And then there was a big storyline where they broke up, and she ended up going. Spoiler alert! Went back to Dracula in the end.
Now, this is published piece.
Yes.
Where is this published in? What?
It was published as covers of 3 different comics. This is the Spidey
And
Pool issue.
had you imagined them as a triptych? You know.
Yeah, I drew them specifically to work
You know,
together as a single
It's
image.
lower than 108. Sorry.
Interesting thing in the film. Do you know what one of the first triptych films was? Abel Gance, 1927, did a movie called
Tried to put that up.
Napoleon. And it was all about the conqueror and the battle man Napoleon, and he would open it up, and the triptych would be, you'd see 3 screens, and you'd have what was going on in his mind, what was
that's
happening
cool.
actually physically on there, and then the spiritual world, what was going on. It was really interesting, and it would
That's
all come
cool.
together into one thing and be the one scene really interesting. And that's an
interesting.
awesome,
Yeah.
so maybe that's an inspiration. You get a chance to see it, Napoleon. That'll make you.
Yeah.
You could keep expanding on that. Triptych
Oh yeah, well
forever.
here's another.
There you
Well,
go.
here's
See,
another
you've got it
triptych.
going on. That's
and people
great.
are getting very
I'm
close to the
so,
number in
so
my head that
excited.
is the winner.
What's the last
here's-
one? 102.
It's lower than 102.
We have a couple of gals from California saying 102.
It's higher than 92.
Someone's just counting as they go.
Oh my God, it's like all over the
someone
place.
Oh my
mentioned
gosh.
Facebook.
98,
We have a 97. Is it higher than 97?
It's lower than 97.
Lower than 97 and higher than 92. Keep going, guys. It's almost there. Come on.
First person that pops.
I mean,
no,
at
not
this point,
94.
guys, just do the next.
Not
okay.
94.
Try the next one.
This is great. I'm having fun.
95.
with it.
Next one,
Come
come
on.
on.
100. No, it's
You guys can
lower.
crack this.
96.
There it is.
That's
Oh my God.
it. Sports and CGC's 96.
Sports and CG. It's got to be a dealer.
Because it was
We
41
love you.
confirmed kills
Sports and
and
CGCs,
55
that's great.
people and
Calling Bob,
murdered
no,
in the movie.
108 the other way.
All right. So, Sports and CGC's, what character do you want a quick sketch from Reilly Brown? And he can do that.
Is he going to do that live right here, right now?
Yeah, I can do that.
Awesome.
Is this your
Oh, this
stuff?
is cool.
You got your
Oh yeah, that's
utensils?
my art stuff.
Your utensils. Do you call them utensils? Is that
No,
a
I
silly
do not-
word?
that is-
Utensils?
That's
What
not
do you
useful.
call your art package? Your
Art supplies.
art supplies?
tools,
That
yeah.
simple?
Yeah.
That prosaic almost, right?
He wants a
Cool.
Deadpool. That's
Deadpool.
easy.
You want
Yeah.
some Deadpool.
Great.
There we go. All right, so we get to see this in action.
So
I
Riley,
watch? Can I watch?
Riley
Okay.
coached me
Come on,
before
right here.
the show. Nothing stupid. So the Deadpool is good. This is a Deadpool show.
Is the camera able to see this? Are people able to see the creator in action?
Do you want to switch? Do you want?
Is
you want
the-
to switch?
Well, what do you? I should sit over
Yeah,
here?
that's great.
That's awesome.
Super.
All right.
Anthony, take close to.
Okay.
Very
Do a
cool.
quick Deadpool,
Yeah.
and we can still talk about your art while we're on our way.
Stepping on anything? Oh yeah, so we'll talk about the other triptych piece, the other,
Wow, I
This
think
is
I want to
Mrs.
invest in one of these
Deadpool.
triptychs.
This is Mrs.
Ryan, I have an
Deadpool.
idea for you with that triptych thing. We'll talk about it later. That's great.
Hey man, yeah.
What's that?
Now
That-
this
that
is a
was
Mrs.
Mr.
Deadpool.
Brown.
And it's all it's a very
Oh,
featured
look at the
chick
lady
lot.
on that one. Wow.
Yeah, that he just talked about.
Yeah, Mrs. Deadpool and the Howling Commandos.
No.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Mrs. Deadpool and the Howling Command. Is that
And-
coming out already? This has happened?
This came out, I think, 2
Couple
years
years ago.
Really?
Yeah. Couple
And
years ago.
the Howling Commandos are all Marvel's like horror characters, like Werewolf by Night, Frankenstein.
And this refers to
Man
Sergeant
Thing.
Fury in the Howling Commandos.
Right,
Right, the
it's a-
original.
it's a spoof
of
on
the,
that.
But
8
it's
superhero
more-
comic books from
and
'63.
They howl like the werewolf
Like the
and
werewolf.
stuff.
And
But
this
it's a
is-
horror
oh,
book.
Actually, and this guy right here, Marcus, is one of my favorite characters that I've created for Marvel.
Let me see Marcus.
He's a centaur werewolf. Well, it was a Venom symbiote.
Whoa.
And
A Venom symbiote or symbiote? There's a whole
There's an N in
controversy,
there.
right? I say "ot" like robot, right? Symbiote.
symbiote. I say
there
it's
you go.
bio-
Okay,
like
you're
bio-
probably
bi-
correct.
I don't know.
That's neat.
But he's a fun character. He's one of those characters.
And
that
what
I
is
really
his
wish
name?
Can you see
Marcus.
that? Are you getting that?
Marcus.
His drawing? That's great.
All right.
We're having an
Can I
art
commission
happening
a Marcus?
here
Can I
at
commission
Carbo and
a
Anthony.
Marcus sketch going forward later?
Who's
Absolutely.
Marcus?
That character he's just talked about, the centaur.
Oh,
One
you
of
like
the Howling
him?
Commandos.
He's just one of those, you know. And I think by the end of the story, he gets his legs chopped off. So then he gets like his cyborg legs, and it's just, if I have my way, every time a new creative team uses him, they'll kill him off some way, and then the next guys will bring him back with like a new power to compensate for however he died last
Great.
time.
And they all howl literally.
I mean,
Well, they're
Okay,
horror
why not?
guys. It's like the
Original-
horror.
everyone's got to have their
The
battle cry.
original Howling Commandos had a thing that they would say in unison, and it was "Wahoo!" when they would like arrive and wreak havoc on the enemy, so to speak, and that was their big thing.
I don't remember if these guys have a battle
No.
cry. I like to think that. I mean, they certainly should.
We got.
Well, if I ever work on them
the
again,
battle
I'll
cry.
give
Well
them a
said.
battle
Exactly.
cry.
That's the words I was looking for.
You know, they said Tom
Wahoo.
Cruise's Mummy movie was about, establishing a dark universe for Universal. So, the Universal monsters. I don't know if that movie did that well that there'd be another
the
one.
horror rather than
Yeah, the horror.
prehistoric, the Rodan Godzilla.
They did a
horror
mummy,
ones.
do a
Mummy,
Frankenstein, do a
yeah,
werewolf.
It didn't do so well, so they kind of fell back on that idea, and they're probably going to reboot it and bring it again forward with a more popular monster going forward and take it to that level.
Well, I like this one. Tell us about this one, Reilly. That's the
What have we
Art of
got here?
Deadpool cover.
Oh yeah, there was
That's
A compilation.
Yeah, this was for a coffee table book that they did that was celebrating 30 years of Deadpool art, and I did the cover for it. So it was called, the original title was The Art of Deadpool. They changed it to
How to draw Deadpool. I think.
drawing
drawing
the merc
Deadpool?
with the mouth or something.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
okay.
So it kind of lost the pun, but the point, the idea is he's drawing a picture of himself kicking some guy's ass, and
Well,
and this was
love
all. This was when they colored it. This was all these lines were done in red, so it looked like he was using like the blood of all the dead mercenaries around him.
Right.
Well, that's funny because it looks like the drawing that he did when he was waiting for the bad guys on the bridge in the movie.
Exactly.
He was
Yeah.
drawing some
Exactly.
stupid picture, like a stick figure of himself.
Kicking
and
the
then,
guy's ass.
Then,
Yeah.
so that ties into the movie, Ryan Reynolds joke, that gag.
So
now,
one of our viewers has given you a very nice compliment. Reilly is a very talented artist.
Yay.
Understatement, so to speak, but yes,
Thanks,
thank
Mom.
you.
Mom, you spelled my name wrong.
I know that this isn't your art, but I just want to. I mean, it's another
yeah.
artist I represent, like Assad.
That's
So I'm going to
Assad.
get
Assad's
into.
the best.
But this is a version of Deadpool that you call what? You call him
That's the Uncanny X-Force costume.
the Uncanny X-Force version. Now, do you know the difference for this in the timeline of Marvel stuff?
Well, I mean, just when he was on
Can you see
X-Force,
that
they
a
all
little
had black and
closer?
white
Sure.
costumes. So it was just kind of his X-Force uniform.
but it was still Wade Wilson and that whole.
Yeah,
that,
it was still Wade Wilson. I
Okay.
think it was actually going on at the same time I was working on
Deadpool.
Second, maybe? Or
When is this from?
or actually, they did that when I was working on Lobo, I
This
think.
is like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's
right?
like 4 years ago, I think.
Yeah, but I just wanted to show the difference, and then I have this.
Different. This is ink, and this is a different. Right. This is.
Oh, no, it's a painting. Yeah, it's
Right.
a painted cover. But let's get back to Reilly stuff, because the Gauntlet
Nice.
was
I love
was
this.
Yeah.
was
You know.
That was the one where he meets his wife.
Look at this.
that
This
was
is the amazing
one
thing
with
about
Shikla.
comic books. You have an artist like Fabian who was on, and he's the writer. So you have the words, you have the colors here.
Yeah.
You know, you have the pictures that you draw. You know, and you have the combination, and that creates a comic book. It's the words, pictures, and
man.
colors. You know, whether
got
it's
the whole
even black
assembly
and
line.
white, that's a color. And I love that. And that's the combination that always drew me to comic books and what it was. Whether I understood the words at all, I saw them there, and I'd see
Yeah.
the word balloons and have to figure it out some way through the actions of the characters or whatever. And I mean, the medium of comic books just completely lends itself to those.
That was
that.
one of the things that I always liked about, you know, when I was first getting into comics when I was a kid. I liked that it's all line work, or you know, at the time most of it was line work, and that's just, you know, I love that.
Illustration,
Yeah,
so
the
to speak, right?
illustration.
Yeah, for me, that's the art that I love and can understand.
I just think
especially
it's
like
fun.
the fact that, you know, the visceral contact and feel of actual human work, you know, pen and ink and pencil
Right.
on paper. You know, I feel like even when you look at computer work, you know, guys that did their jobs on computers, I mean, when you look at those jobs in the comic,
Wow.
it sort of loses some of that feel.
Especially when the inking is done digitally, like it really, like, you know, I've seen some guys that can ink digitally and it's, you can't tell, it looks awesome. But a lot of times it's like, there's just no life to the,
Yeah,
you know,
it
like, I
loses
don't
a
know,
sense of-
I don't know
What
what
kind of
it
pen
is.
is that you're using that has such a swish to it almost,
This
right?
is a Pentel pocket
It's a brush pen.
It's a brush pen.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's like I can use a brush without having to have all the.
Now, I saw
Yeah,
that
set
in the
up.
Gauntlet,
Nice.
there was a lot of vampires and monsters, and even Blade was in this,
Oh,
this
yeah.
What's
version.
the Gauntlet?
This was a storyline that he did. Who wrote this one? Riley?
That was Jerry Duggan and Brian Posehn.
Okay, and this had the monsters too, and there's a very cool updated version of Blade, which Fabian referred to in his interview
yeah.
when he was on. You know, like, and if you
the
talk
first,
about
the
that.
first official Marvel movie.
Yeah, because Marvel had licensed these, made these deals and undersold these characters, and they were all tied up, and so these like fourth string characters were getting,
And what-
you know, these companies could come in and license, you know, a character like Blade and make it work.
And
But
what
that was
did
cool.
Blade
but
not
then,
have
what did Blade not
that
have?
all these other characters have?
Oh, he didn't have 17 movies before.
Universe, exactly. The universe to help.
I thought it was so funny, like online when Black Panther comes out and they were like, the first black superhero movie, and everyone's like, what about Blade?
yeah, right.
What about Storm and the X-Men?
Well,
what about
Yeah,
you know?
what about Storm and the X-Men? I mean,
but, you know.
I mean, I saw Blade as like more trying to, you know, capture the vampire trend that
Well,
was going on at that time.
It
and
was,
you
but
know.
there wasn't a superhero trend, so he kind of was
No,
a
there wasn't.
trailblazer, you know, like there was a few
But it was more of a
Batman
vampire
movies.
movie than a superhero
But that
movie.
opened up a lot
Kind
of
of,
producers
I mean,
and companies'
it was
eyes.
it was
that
an action
made real
movie, but
money
it
in
wasn't
the
like
box office.
Dracula or
But his job was
Interview
to
with
kill
the Vampires.
vampires.
Well, those were his
And,
enemies.
and
but
you know, it was all
those
about.
were the antagonists. But if you watch it, it actually is much more like a superhero movie
Those
than
all
any
did
other
over
genre.
100 million, 100 a quarter, 170.
I mean,
I
they
just,
did three
I
of
just still see it
Yeah.
as more of a vampire movie than a superhero movie.
And what's the first
I don't know.
appearance of Blade?
Oh, Dracula
Spider?
10.
Tomb of Dracula number
really? Okay.
11.
10. No,
10,
it's
or
10.
10 and 11. Yeah, 10
It's
and 11.
10.
10 is the key one. But 11 is good too.
You are a
No.
Love those.
fake. You are a
It's
fake
10.
geek girl.
How do you not know the first Blade? That actually still is a key in comics. And this is a funny one that I want you to talk about because you have so much going on in this. You have these.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Yeah, it is fun. Now, do you feel like, I mean, knowing you in person and knowing your work, I mean, like you went from Deadpool, which has all the funny stuff, and then you went to Lobo, which kind of is, you know, was the kind of the DC version of Deadpool, you know,
Yeah.
because of his wisecracking and humor. I mean, where do you, I mean, you're known for the humor in the work.
Right.
So do you have any jokes?
Do I? I'm good. I'm better at writing them and drawing them than coming up with them on the spot.
Okay.
It takes me a month to come up with any jokes.
So
we have an
tell
update
us-
on the. We have an update on the Blade origin. 10 is the first.
Yes.
And 13 is the origin.
Yeah, it was.
Ah,
It
okay,
was like
great.
10, 11, 12, 13.
Thank you.
It was like the first storyline. Now, No, but what's going on in this panel? Because there's a lot of stuff going on in this
Somebody
panel.
seems to really want what you're drawing.
Cool. This was from Deadpool Split Second, which I did with Fabian, and
Oh, really? That's
yeah,
cool.
I think this might actually be the last Deadpool piece Fabian's written. I don't know, but
No
this was,
way, really?
or the most recent, not, the last.
I haven't marked 475. Will you take 300 cash for it, and I'll buy it off you right now?
Yeah, sure.
Where's my money?
Where's the money gun?
Where's you going? The money gun. Hey, I want
There it
some of
is.
that. Oh man. Excellent.
Oh my gosh.
This thing works too fast.
This is
I'm
great.
losing money. How much did you get?
You know what? It might be time for another
300
deal.
bucks,
come
man.
to
I'll
think
take
of
it.
You got it?
Yeah.
I like that one.
This will almost pay for a week of daycare.
All right, we're going to go into this.
But,
While Riley is finishing that.
Oh, wait,
go
I wanted
ahead.
to talk about it.
Yeah.
let him
Tell
talk.
us.
But this was from a storyline. Like at the end of the storyline, Cable gets sucked into Deadpool's subconscious, and Deadpool imagines himself as all these superheroes. So there he is as Jean Grey and Magneto and Spider-Man and Cyclops, and then there's all these flying chimichangas.
Now, why does he like Mexican food so
Flying
much?
chimichangas. We have a
That's something
chimichanga
you should
toy
ask
over here.
Fabian.
Pop
It's
chimichanga
basically,
toy.
it's just a joke. It's just, there was an okay, Fabian told me this story a long time ago, and I'll try to remember it. But it was basically, there was an SNL skit where Jimmy Schmidt is saying, Mexican, he's like ordering Mexican food, and he's saying it all with like really ridiculous Mexican accents.
Chimichanga.
Yeah. So and he doesn't actually say chimichanga in this skit because I've seen it, and I was waiting to actually hear what chimichanga said, but he doesn't say it. But anyway, it's always a reference to that. So once I heard that, once he told me that, I started like hearing how Deadpool was saying chimichanga differently. Like he's not just saying chimichanga, he's saying chimichanga.
Okay.
You know?
You just bought that, Anthony.
Yeah. So there you go.
No, I did. I love that page.
And here's
Those look like the little pop figures.
these are
Yeah.
that's an Inside Out reference, and they actually this was not published because this one panel wasn't published because they didn't like because Marvel had just been bought by Disney and they didn't want to make their corporate overlords angry. So
Corporate overlords.
so they didn't. Which is,
Disney's up $5 in the past week, by the way.
well, maybe they're smart for not
100 to
letting it.
105.
Maybe they're smart for not letting me ruin it.
5%.
All right,
or
but
4%.
they look like pop figures, but they didn't want them to look like pop figures? What?
Well, it's have you seen the movie Inside Out? It's about like you're inside somebody's mind,
Yes.
which was kind of like
Yeah,
the
I've
same
seen
type of scene. I thought it would be funny to
That was
have,
a Pixar film.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just those characters dressed as Deadpool, as
Yeah.
if those are
Okay.
his Inside
The
Out
feelings, yeah.
characters. But yeah, it's fun. I mean, that's part of the fun of working on Deadpool is getting all these
What are we
crazy
doing
pop
with this
culture
sketch?
references.
No, this
Yeah.
is a sketch that he
This
won.
the sports and
Your sketch is
CGC
coming. How about
Oh,
that?
that's
won this,
looking
and
amazing.
we'll send it to that guy. I'll make sure it's delivered. So that's cool.
So good.
What other art do you have there? Let's take a look.
Well, we got more Reilly Brown Deadpool art. This is
Wow,
oh, that's
Riley.
cool.
It's a lot of art.
This one, I think, is that Bob at the bottom? This is let's see. This is Infinites. It's a splash. Now you did you help create Bob? I know
Yep.
you drew his first issue, right?
Yep, me and Fabian created Bob in Cable and Deadpool number 35, I think.
Riley, do you draw every day?
Yeah.
He works every
Find
day.
one-
Every day, every night.
I mean, if there's a day, do you take a day off? Do you take a weekend off and go, you don't draw? Do you
I mean-
want to draw every day? Do you is it
There's
just
always
part
more.
now? Is it just part of your makeup, like breakfast or
there's always-
lunch or dinner?
Pretty much. There's always more drawings I want to do that I don't have time to do. So
That's cool.
I mean, I do like to take vacations sometimes, but I rarely get them because even on the weekends, I'm
You're
going to
doing
conventions.
shows.
So
So
you're
you're
an
doing a
artist,
lot
right?
of-
I'm drawing right
in the
now.
best part of your career. This is
don't
amazing.
get a
So
break.
prolific.
Yeah,
Awesome. This is
I was
amazing.
drawing up until I left and came here, and now I'm still drawing. I can't
Now-
escape it.
You're how old are you now? 30 something, right?
36.
36. Now you've been doing this professionally since you got out of college. I mean, you
Right.
pretty much started right away, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
so since you were 22, let's say, right?
24, I think. Is when I
24.
first-
Okay, so 12 years you've been doing this professionally, full time.
Yep.
You really never had a break that I know of. So, I mean, does it still feel like work, or are you still feeling you channeling and you love it?
I do love it. It is fun. There are days that feel like work. Some days drawing's easy, some days it's hard. Some days it's just drawing. Some days there's just drawing the same panel and erasing it and redrawing it and erasing it till it looks right.
So it's kind of like writer's block. Sometimes you have your hands not just moving as well or whatever it is.
Exactly. There's some kind of...
I tried to be an artist at one time, and I know the difference between sometimes you're just channeling and it flows, and other times
when you're in the zone, it's the
harder.
best. Then other times it's like every line you put down just is not the right line. Yeah, it's like, why is this where I want it to go?
But I've seen a lot of growth and progress that you've made in your career, and it's amazing. And I see a lot of your Instagram posts of commissions you're doing that are just beautiful. Like that black cat you posted recently. What's your Instagram?
It's Reilly_Brown.
Reilly_Brown. That's awesome.
That was a commission I did, I think, actually at the Long Island Comic Convention.
Now, speaking of appearances at Comic-Con, you were at Mike's Big Apple show. Now, did you enjoy that?
That was great. Yeah,
you were busy and you got a lot of stuff done?
Yeah, I was busy the whole time, and it's a cool show because there's just so many awesome creators in such a small space together, and it's somehow more manageable than the giant shows. It's just kind of like a friendly little convention.
I like to give people a good time.
It's a nice friendly convention that isn't overwhelming, but you get so many awesome creators there that it's fun to just hang out with guys.
Well, we're going to be having a lot more in the next one, which I just announced for March 9th and 10th. And I guess by then, Outrage will be a super duper hit by then, right?
Yeah,
9 months from now.
Knock on wood.
So would you consider coming to the Big Apple in March, on March 9th and 10th again?
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's an easy one. Excellent. Yeah. Okay, you'll know Reilly will be there.
Get Fabian in there.
And we're going to come up with something really cool. Maybe we'll create a poster together, or Anthony, you guys could work on something.
That'd be cool.
I love this character. Are you jazzed about seeing this thing come out?
I am. The pages have been incredible, and the story's so funny.
So are you working on this at home? Are you at number 3 or number?
I'm drawing number 10 currently.
Wow. 10. So you've got them in the boxes, right? In the bag.
Well, because it comes out weekly, we want to be well far ahead before it actually launches.
No, and you said the art is online, but the original art now is that.
Are you doing this digitally?
No, I've got all the paper.
Of course.
Okay. So do you have this in your avoir to?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Given it
you
to
get
me.
it because I'm interested in some of this. I love this.
So this is a personification of a flame war where people are arguing a lot.
More or less, yeah.
Did you ever hear a cartoon called Blip? Way back, one of the really early cartoons in the 1950s, a little character go blip, 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 and he'd float around. This face, this little kind of moving face reminds me of that. Every little bit.
Everybody has a different character that reminds him of.
That's interesting.
To me,
it's so cool. I love that.
To me, he's my inspiration
for him. Insert your idea here, right? Insert your feeling.
Inspiration for him was there was a character on the Jetsons that was just a big computer screen that would talk to. I remember him being kind of like a
George's work computer, basically, where he went to work.
I think he went there was some episode where it went crazy and tried to kill everybody or something like that.
No, I loved the Jetsons when I was a kid. That's another.
That's kind of what inspired me with that one.
Okay.
Cool.
We're seeing that we have to promote Reilly for the Big Apple show. And I especially want you to get Fabian as a dual thing to sign all that. And I want to get Fabian to sign all your pages that he wrote. And especially the one I just bought.
Yeah. So Carbo, give him a prime booth now. Lots of love. Okay, Reilly. You're going to have a prime spot.
Well, he did have a prime spot. It was right across from me where I was selling his art pages.
Next to Assad.
Yeah,
we had a great time.
Assad. And
I had to show Assad how to draw Deadpool at one point.
I'm going to show you something really cool.
Which is weird because he's done them.
No, but it's true because
he's drawn them plenty of times in the comics, so I didn't know why he forgot.
Assad grew up in Croatia. He was not a comic book kid. And this was, he was classically trained from his art institute in the country. And then, he had to live through the war and what happened in his country. And then after that, come out and have a career in comics. Maybe through his friend Alex Milov that helped influence him and get him, He's an artist that just happens to work in comics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's so good.
You grew up wanting to do this and like aspiring to do this. That's not the case with Assad. Sometimes people want him to do a character he's absolutely never heard of, and I have to give him like direct reference.
Did I ever tell you about the first time I met Assad? It was at the San Diego Comic Convention in like 2006 or so, and
he was at my booth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he probably was.
Yeah.
And there was the Marvel vs. DC softball game, and you know.
Oh, I remember that day. He didn't come in to work at the booth because he went to the damn softball game.
Yeah, it was.
I'm like, dude, I have all these commissions for you. Where are you? Where have you been? I went to play softball.
Now,
That's what he would
he
say.
had never even heard of
of
baseball.
softball, right? No.
So he gets up there, he's smoking his cigarette, he's holding the baseball bat in one hand.
One hand.
And he clobbers it.
Paul Bunyan
Yeah.
himself. That's what he
Because
would
he's
look
a
like. Exactly.
giant.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
a giant
bear
man.
of a man. A
And
bear
so
of a man.
he clobbers it, and he starts running. He looks around, he doesn't know what to do. He runs to third base first.
Base
So they said
no.
the back. They said,
What?
no,
That's
go.
hysterical.
And he said to go
That's great.
across the field. Like, no, you have to go back around to home first. And he was so confused. It was so funny.
That's a
And-
funny story.
Yeah.
Adorable.
That was the first time I met him.
Yeah, when he clobbers a home run. Now, I have a home run story from my kid. Where's my phone? I want to show that. Where my kid hit 2 home runs in his game.
Cameron.
Yeah, Cameron.
Excellent. 2
2
home
home
runs.
runs.
And he's a catcher, right?
He's a catcher, and
Yes.
he hits cleanup and
Johnny
had
Bench, a home run catcher. You can't beat that.
4 RBIs, and he's going to be big like Assad. He's a
yeah?
huge guy. Yeah, he's a big guy.
11 years old and size
You know,
10
I
and a
had
half
a chance
shoe.
to talk to Assad a little at the show, and I asked him, because his stuff is just so interesting, just the single bit. And I said, how do you create that? Do you think of it all important as you do it as an artist? And I posed this question to you a little bit. When you see the blank page, do you look at the whole thing and try and compose it as one piece? And what Assad said to me is that no, he starts with a little piece, and then he says, I'll do it here, and then as that comes, he evolves it from there to the next, to the next. I mean, I guess every artist is a little different, but that was interesting. He kind of fragmented it and as he would see it in his mind.
That's great. Yeah, I'm a planner. I like to plan everything.
How
in
interesting! You
advance.
see different people and different
Yeah.
styles.
Yeah.
So you see the page and you kind of feel it all there and kind of fit it in and.
I'll start with like a small little rough sketch of what the page is going to look like, and then blow it up and put that on to the final page and kind of like refine it as I go. But I like to know where everything's going to be. So,
That's so
And those are the days when you
Otherwise it
spend
freaks me
rubbing
out.
out so
Yeah,
many.
exactly.
And then you go, I get it now.
Exactly.
Okay, right.
The
eraser keeps moving.
I couldn't do it the way
Did you
Assad
actually
It would drive
go
me
to
crazy.
comic book classes, or were you involved with the Joe Kubert School at all? Or
I studied illustration at VCU in Richmond, Virginia.
VCU,
Oh, okay.
short form.
Virginia Commonwealth.
Okay,
Virginia Commonwealth,
cool.
yeah.
And I took illustration classes there. They didn't have any comic book classes, but when I wasn't in class, I was drawing my own self-published comics. And
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and me and some friends started a small press comic book label.
wow.
And
And you published a comic book?
yeah, we did some anthologies together.
What
me
was
and our
that comic
friends.
book?
It was called Odd God Press or Odd God Anthology.
Oh, really?
And
We have to get some of those.
yeah,
Are
if you
there
can find
any
them,
out
man.
there?
Now,
I
was that the samples of the stuff that you took to Marvel
So is
to
that
get
like
your
your
first
first-
work?
Yeah.
Yep,
First-
some of
your
it was.
portfolio?
Some of that-
Professional or semi-professional? It is professional because it was published.
Well,
So professional
self-published.
work.
That doesn't mean you're getting paid for it, but
Yeah, it was fun. I had a character called Orath the Intergalactic Caveman. And it was about a caveman and his...
Everyone's got a caveman in their life somewhere, right?
my wife does.
There you go.
But it was a caveman and his chimpanzee sidekick. They got abducted by aliens and they had adventures in outer space.
There
So
you
that
go,
was
the
kind of-
chimpanzee
That's
sidekick.
Well, I wanna see that.
That's
That's
right.
kind of throwback DC pre-hero stuff, like that 50s strange
Well, it's like-
adventures and stuff like that.
Well,
there was
there's your
always
Joe
like a
Kubert, the
monkey in there
tour.
and stuff. That
You
was, that
you
was
can't
cool
have a
stuff.
caveman without a chimpanzee
So
sidekick.
you
or a monkey.
appreciate a Jack Kirby creation
Holy
like this,
crap,
right?
that's awesome.
Here,
Oh,
now you
let
said
me
you had a
see.
2-year-old kid, right? His name is William?
Yeah.
We were talking before. Give that to him. There you go. That's from my collection.
What is this from?
Isn't
What
that
is
neat?
that?
Galactus. Heavy Metal did a recreation, a kind of homage to the
Oh,
original
the
Black
Lord of
Light
Light
posters.
Oh, this was from a couple years ago,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And I saw that once. I said, "Wow, that is super cool." So
Thanks,
you let
man.
your kid open it and enjoy it.
I
It just
will.
makes all the others worth more.
Absolutely. He's going to be so psyched.
That's
I mean, he's
fun.
going to chew a
great,
leg
right?
off by the end of the week, but like,
Yeah, right. That's great.
I'm going to bring it back to
You have
Anthony.
to
It's like, how
watch
much
him.
is this? He's like, it's not mint
Did you
condition
base
anymore.
your original chimpanzee on?
Oh, that's great.
oh,
The Three
this
Stooges
is-
one.
No,
Love
it's
that.
the original cheetah.
Oh, really? Is that? Oh, that's Tarzan. There
Yeah.
you go. Excellent.
Oh, cool.
I love
no,
that. I want
my-
this as a laugh track.
No, my chimpanzee
Ringtone.
character was.
Let's put that on the show on the opening credits from now on with that with the swinging by. That's great. I love it.
my
Sharon,
my
next step.
my chimpanzee
that.
character was into heavy metal from the 1980s.
Oh, okay.
There
So
you
did he
go.
have a
Heavy
mullet?
metal.
No, I just had, but he had T-shirts that.
Oh, and that
he
was
had
what the character was. Oh,
yeah,
that's
He
great.
had band T-shirts that would change in every panel, and I had
that's fun.
there's a story I never got to that would explain how he had, band T-shirts from thousands of years in the
We
future.
love T-shirts.
Anyway,
Those
sure.
are hot. Those are
Check
good.
it out.
Okay, so we're
Here's
done.
the.
That's
Oh,
that's
that's
your
awesome.
gray tone little Deadpool cool sketch
What do you
for sports and
All these
CGCs?
people are saying I'm nice. Who says I'm nice? I'm buttering up so I can make sure that he's coming to the next Big Apple. I'll tell you guys.
Here you go, honey. All right, so that's
Wow,
for sports
that's
and SGS, DGs, I'll figure that out first.
Gorgeous.
And I think we're.
So cool.
Do you have anything
We have
else you
one
want to
last
do?
thing. So, Riley,
One
this
last
is a
deal.
show
Yeah.
about comic books, art, collectibles, things. We want to thank you so much for coming on and drawing that. That's amazing to see you do that.
Yeah,
Would that
no
take
sweat.
15
Thank you
minutes?
so much.
Art happening.
Holy cow. Thank you. That's great. We want to thank all of you. As we do a segment, an episode called What's in the Box?
What's in that box?
Okay, and,
What's in the
of
box?
course I want to sell this to Anthony. So this is really super cool. I brought this out of my archives. I actually kept this for a number of years. So what we have in the box is another box. But in this box is something absolutely incredible. First, there's a little toy here. Okay, there's a spaceship, but take this spaceship and look through it. Look through the eye like a kaleidoscope.
Is this a trap?
Look through it and hold it. No trap. I'll do that on the next one when you come back in
ink on
March.
it. Yeah.
Okay? Look at hold it up to the light. It's a little cool.
Yeah.
Super kaleidoscope, right? Okay, and that's from the 1950s, I believe. Okay, a spaceship, but this is the Koople, super
this-
cool piece. So this is, Koople and cool. Travel toys and bubblegum. You get one plastic toy and a bubblegum ball, both for 1 penny. Okay, I mean, come on.
1 penny?
1 penny, you get all
When
these
is
toys
this
and the
from?
boxes. This is about 1947 to 52.
Wow.
What are those,
Something like
little
that.
buses?
You get both
Streetcars.
for a penny. Okay, so you get a bubblegum ball and a plastic toy.
I
But
wanna play
here's
with the bus,
the
Mom. That
absolute
doesn't have wheels.
amazing part of this. You got all these toys and you get a bubblegum ball. Here's the 100 bubblegum balls that are still there in mint.
Wow.
Absolute pristine in the box.
How's it taste?
So there you go. I'm not going to do that one. He ate a 1986 piece of bubblegum on the last episode.
I'm not
He's
doing
still
that again.
recovering
No,
from it.
yeah,
That would
he
have
had
broken
to
your
spit it
teeth
out.
in
But
1986.
not that
amazing.
amazing. Anthony, how cool is this for a toy? So you got 100. This has to be $1,000 piece at least. I mean, there's 100 pieces.
Okay.
If you got a bubblegum and a toy,
You have.
plus the kaleidoscope.
Travel toys. and
This thing is
bubblegum.
great. You gotta check this out.
500 for the
One
pair.
plastic
like a
You've got
weird-
it, Anthony.
This is like
It's
a weird
yours.
Rorschach text.
500. It's yours. Hey, where's that box full of stuff, David? Have we got a box
It's
to
like-
throw in? I have to throw something in. We can
It's
make
like
a
they're
deal.
monsters, and every
Nice.
now and then it looks vaguely erotic, and it's like.
Isn't that great? Yeah.
Erotic.
cool.
Look, there's man butt on the cover.
Nice. Well,
There
Man
you
butt
go.
on
Here,
But this
Sharon,
is
hold up the man
I
butt.
think the gumballs are absolutely amazing. Anthony, we still have a
Man butt.
175 credit from the last one.
What?
From those books that we didn't finish up, right? You didn't
Oh, the
push the
books,
gun
yeah.
at that. 500 for both. So that's giving you the whole thing. So that's 300 for that.
You like this too much.
Really? Okay.
thanks.
I guess I'm gonna keep that one.
Yeah,
Is that hopefully the kaleidoscope has
Oh, that's
inspired
kind of
you,
cool, actually.
right?
Now, what was
That's
this part? This
that's
was
a
part of the
$7,500 toy in and of itself. Just by
Eye
that.
of the
Space
sky.
500 as my last offer.
Here, look through that with your big,
All right, I'll
beautiful
throw in the
eyes.
taxi.
Here, take that. Take this one.
I'm not,
Okay.
I'm
It
not
looks
a
like we're-
transportation guy.
We're losing. We have
Nah.
an Arkham House book here. We have
Yeah.
the original Arkham House. These are the collectors from the Arkham House.
Oh,
Look,
weird.
here.
all the Arkham collectors. Okay,
Arkham-
1969.
That's the paperback series. Yeah.
Okay, you got
That's
1, 2,
kinda
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. Okay,
kinda fun.
500 for the lot. Anthony, going, including the Arkhams. And the toy and the travel. Anthony, you've got it. Here we go. Have we got a deal or not? And we're going to close our episode with this. Yes or no?
No!
Okay. Then it's yours to buy. Come on back. Anybody who wants some Arkham Collectors? Riley, thanks so much. This was absolutely
My
incredible.
pleasure.
Okay. And next
Deadpool.
episode, what are we going to
Bye,
talk
buddy.
about?
Bye.
A movie that's not nearly as interesting or a whole theme of movies is
Oh,
Star Wars. Da, 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 da. But I have lots to say about Star
Next
Wars.
time.
So there you go.
Next
Riley,
week we will
amazing.
do
Great
Star
to see
Wars.
you draw
Come
that.
on.
Yeah,
Absolutely
thank you.
wonderful.
Next
Absolutely,
week we will
thank
do
you.
Star Wars, and
Oh, boy.
Star Wars will do us.
All right.
I'll be selling stuff most of the time. We'll just leave a little bit for Star Wars. Just a
Well,
tiny
we
little
have
bit.
to give credit
There we go.
for George Lucas to create
Thank you all.
Oh, you
this
can- you can-
Once
amazing,
again, Riley, a
amazing
couple of last minute
franchise.
things. We have a Mark's
Thanks,
Taxi.
guys.
Somebody says you missed out on the taxi.
Sweet.
Okay, you want to buy the taxi? $50. It's got the key in it. Whoever's out there calling it, you get a taxi. It's a New York City taxi,
No.
yellow cab. How can you beat it? Look at that. It's amazing.
You can throw it against the wall and beat
Okay.
it.
Thanks again, Riley. Sports and CGC says
Yeah,
that.
thanks,
right.
man. Thanks for being on. I
And again,
appreciate
we're
it.
gonna say
Thank you so
goodbye.
much.
And I'm heading out. I'm back to I'm going through my tunnel back the other way.
Okay,
into the
go
world
through
of
your
comic
tunnel.
books and planets.
I'll
and
throw some
other assorted
gumballs
things.
at you.
Okay, sounds great. No, do not
right.
take the gumballs out of that. Do not
So,
touch them.
from Secaucus, New Jersey, Excelsior!
Yay.
And many great tidings to you all. And happy weekend. Happy Thursday, happy movies, and everything else. Cheers, and happy
We'll see you
buying and
next
selling.
week. Same bat channel.
Cheers.
Same bat time.
Bye, guys.